So here is our live speaking video for this module on visiting restaurants, where I'm going to share with you some extra useful expressions, questions, phrases and vocabulary that you can use specifically in the module's topic, which is of course visiting restaurants. So let's take a look at these expressions now. Our first expression is, what would you recommend? And are there any specials available today? So two really useful questions in restaurants. Could we see the food, wine, or could we see the menu, please? A table for insert number of people in your party, please. Could I have the bill, please? So you can see there's quite a few pleases throughout these expressions. And of course, when we are in restaurants, we need to maintain a level of politeness. So definitely these 5 expressions can be considered super polite and definitely more formal. So let's take a look at the live speaking and I'll run you through some more examples. Okay, the first expression and question that I think would be super useful for you when visiting restaurants is, what would you recommend? And you can almost sound that would you, what would you recommend? And this is basically a question that you can ask to any member of staff, but specifically probably to one of the waiters who would be taking your orders. What would you recommend? And it's basically asking them, is there any really popular dishes at the restaurant? Or say, for example, you were going for drinks, such as cocktails or possibly even wine. You could say, what would you recommend? And it's basically finding out if there's something specifically that the restaurant is well known for making or serving. What would you recommend? Okay, number 2 is, are there any specials available today? And that is basically asking, is there anything that is just available today? In some restaurants, especially quite nice restaurants, they often cook with fresh ingredients. So it may be that something was made only on that day, super fresh, and that is generally called a special. Are there any specials available today? Is there something extra awesome that I could order? So that's another really good question you could ask the waiter. Expression 3 is, could we see the menu, please? And you can also say quite easily, could we see the food menu? Could we see the wine menu? Could we see the drinks menu? Generally speaking, when you go into a restaurant, sometimes anyway, you'll be given a menu straight away, either on sitting at the table or just coming in. If not, you can signal to a waiter, obviously very politely. Could I see? Could we see? Could we see the food menu, please? And of course, then one will be brought over to you. Again, it's a very polite. We're finishing the sentence with please, so definitely time for formal language when visiting the restaurant. Could we see the menu, please? Another super essential piece of language for when you enter a restaurant is to say either excuse me or just a table for, please. If it was just you and a friend or you and a partner, a table for 2, please. Or if it was a bigger group, of course, the number would increase. A table for 5, please. Often when you enter a restaurant, especially in more Western countries, you will be asked how many people. On that question, you can return with a table for 2, please. This can also be used when calling to make a reservation at a restaurant. How many people will be joining you? Could we book for a table for 3, please? So yeah, another really useful piece of language. very important, but probably not the most exciting part of visiting a restaurant. Could I have the bill, please? So once everything's finished, you've finished eating, you've had drinks, then you can signal the waiter, excuse me, waiter, could we have the bill, please? Bill. Could we have the bill, please? And then you'll be brought the bill, and of course you can pay. And really that's it. So some super useful expressions you can use when visiting restaurants.